Hey, good morning and welcome to the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg. It's 7:02. It's Thursday, April 10th, and it's the video live stream. Sorry, it took me a moment to get going on the video live stream because pop-ups just kept coming up. I don't know what people are doing when I'm not here. This is goofy. All right, welcome. The Average Joes are back. You're veterans here to the studio. Welcome back. It's good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, this is where we talk. This is the talking portion. No. And make sure those microphones are your friends. Bring them up close and personal when you're speaking on them. And that way we can make sure that you are heard by everyone here. And we want to make sure that you're heard because you guys apparently did very well this last weekend at state. How'd it go?
That was the best event this team has ever had. At the state championship, we managed to win our division and also win the Impact Award. Only 4 teams won the Impact Award at states this year out of 160 teams competing. And in Michigan history, only 3 teams have ever won Impact and their division at states. And now we're one of those 3 teams.
That's great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We have the lead Impact here as well, Elizabeth.
And our other presenter, Thurv.
Okay, and Thurv, you were also part of the Impact team. We'll talk about what the Impact team is. We'll talk about more about the overall competition, your roles in it. We'll let you introduce yourselves. We'll say hi to Morgan, who's got the camera.
Hi.
I thought you were breaking stuff over here, but I heard this click, click, click. Okay, that's what the camera is.
We got to get the pictures.
That's
for
a
the
cool
socials.
camera.
Thank you.
Is that one of those digital reflex, no mirror, mirrorless ones?
No,
okay.
this is old.
Oh, all right. But good. But it's a good one. All right.
It takes pictures.
So we'll be back in just a moment to talk a little bit more about robotics. First Robotics. It's our Robotics Roundup. It's brought to you by Cook Nuclear, Lake Michigan College, and Berrien Springs Public Schools. That is going to start here in a few moments after news on the WSJM Morning Show.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
It's 7:05. It's the WSJM Morning Show. Good morning. I'm Ken Lundberg. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I'm a little discombobulated because it's not often that you have champions in the studio. And, well, I mean, honestly, we have the first robotics folks from Average Joe's, St. Joseph High School, who've done very well. Things went well at state, and now you're going on to Worlds. And I can see the excitement in your faces. We're going to talk about what happened at state in a few moments on Robotics Roundup. It's brought to you by Cook Nuclear Power Plant, by Lake Michigan College, and Berrien Springs Public Schools. We're going to talk about robotics, what happened at state, what's going to happen at Worlds, and what you're looking forward to. That's going to be up next in a few minutes. It's 7:11. It's Thursday, April 10th. Good morning. I'm Ken Lundberg in the studio this morning for the WSJM Morning Show. For Robotics Roundup, we've got the Average Joes here in studio. They've been here before. Why do we have them back again? Morgan, I'm going to let you tell. Oh, Morgan's going to cough. All right. No, Morgan, let me introduce. While you're coughing, I'll introduce. Morgan Brunsting is here. She's first robotics veteran, a coach, a coordinator, a mentor, all-around amazing person. You're here. You brought the Average Joes back after an exciting victory.
Very exciting.
At state this week. We also have Elizabeth Fisbeck, her brother Hank Fisbeck. Can I identify you as brother or sister? Is that okay? Yes. All right. And then also Thurv Saxena. They're all key components of the first robotics team, the Average Joes. And before we get into sports, I just want to give them another congratulations. Congratulations on your win at state. Tell us a little bit more about that. Who wants to lead off kind of an overview of what happened at state?
So in the last 14 years of our team's history, we've never won a state blue banner, which can come from winning our field, winning the whole competition, winning impact. And we finally broke through that ceiling by winning the Impact Award and by winning our field. Both, we came home with 2 more blue banners.
That's fantastic. Congratulations. So
Thank you.
The big wall of blue banners in the basketball area, you get to put one up?
Not in the basketball areas. We keep our banners.
You're going to keep
with
yours
us.
in your own?
Yeah.
I think you should just paste it right over the top of the basketball ones. Why not?
Well, they're better.
Yeah, ours are actually a little bit bigger than the ones they have in the basketball gym.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it's funny because students will come back years later and they'll see the banner from 2011, 14, 15, 16, 17, the banner from 2023, and then they'll ask, what happened in 2025? Because now there's 5 more from this year.
That's great. That's amazing. And so talk just for a moment about the lead impact. What is the Impact Award?
So the Impact Award is the most prestigious prestigious award in FIRST Robotics. So it's the highest honor, and it's an award for the team that exemplifies the FIRST core values and is a role model to other teams, and it's mainly given out for community service or community outreach. We won our award for many reasons. We have over 42 outreach initiatives, all student-led and overseen by our impact team. And some of the bigger ones we won for is our Joe Expo, our Little Things Play Cafe Day, our Buzz Gloves. We're busy trying to make sure that while our community is still we're making sure our community can access STEAM, and we're making sure that they have fun with it too.
That's awesome. We're going to hear more about this hour. We're going to hear about the competition. We're going to hear about the robot, the impact, everything else that goes into it. That's coming up. It's Robotics Roundup. It's right here, and it's brought to you by Cook Nuclear Power Plant, Lake Michigan College, and also by Berrien Springs Public Schools. We'll continue that in just a moment on the video live stream. You can check it out on YouTube and Facebook. We're going to get sports here on the radio right now and come back in just a couple of minutes on WSJM. How exciting, how amazing. This is great. So where do you want to begin? Because I'm super excited. Morgan, tell me where we need to begin.
Well, I guess I was doing some reflection this morning.
Okay.
And when we were having our team meeting, the other coach, Stuart, he was talking about how in 2015, we were both on the team together in 2015, we won Kentwood, and we won Engineering Inspiration. So you get 2 medals for that. And our founding coach and a founding mentor were reflecting on just that, and they're saying, we made it, this is what we've worked so hard for, and we're successful, and this is crazy. And you hear the metals clinking, that is the sound of FIRST, is getting to hear your metals clink together, because that means you were just ultra successful. And I just was thinking about that, how we get 2 medals and they're just so excited. I'm still in shock for getting 5 in one season.
5 medals.
There's only one other team in the world, at least last time I checked, who is more decorated than we are in the world. There's 3,690 teams in the world. There's one other team that is more decorated than we are. So I am just in shock. But the kids deserve this. It's not, the stars did align in our favor in certain instances, but they work so hard. They are putting forth their best effort. I'm just supervising a lot of the time. I'm not even mentoring. They just work and they get it done. And this team is so deserving of that. And it's also because of the students who were on the team, who have graduated, who are alumni, who have come back to support, all the mentors, all the parents, all the sponsors. We've worked years and years. It's our 15th year. So it's quite the way to celebrate the 15th year.
Just out of curiosity, thank you for that. And in a few moments, I'll ask you to walk back a couple of steps just to ground people who might not be familiar with FIRST Robotics. What is FIRST Robotics, and what is the season? How does it start? What does it look like? And then we'll get to the state. But who's the other team that has more decorations than you?
It is 118, the Robonauts. So they're a team that's sponsored by NASA. NASA owns them, which is crazy.
They used to work in the Johnson Space Center on government property. I've actually seen their shop while they were still
Not
there.
that you've done any recon on your competition or anything like that.
They're just a cool team.
They are a really cool team. They're very well known in the FIRST community.
One moment, we've got to get back on the air. I'll ask you more about that. That's fascinating, though. I like that. Just a moment on WSJM. That's what I was looking for. Good morning and welcome again to the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg. It's 7:17. It's a Thursday, one of my favorite days of the week. Thursday, favorite day of the week, everyone? Show of hands. Okay, I've got 2. What a Thurv?
Friday's just better.
Thursday is Friday Junior, sir.
Thursday's Friday Eve.
Yeah, there you go. And that. So, all right, that's fine. We'll have that debate later. But I've got the average Joes in the studio here this morning at WSJM. It's part of Robotics Roundup, which is brought to you by Cook Nuclear, Lake Michigan College, and Berrien Springs Public Schools. Getting ready to wrap up the season, but we can't wrap it up yet without talking to the people who are cleaning up and winning a lot of medals. It's the FIRST Robotics team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why are you all giggling? Did I say something wrong?
No, we're just still in shock.
Okay. The most decorated team in the world, except for one.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was going to get there.
Okay.
I was going to get there. It's
sure.
all right. The most decorated team in the world, except for one other.
You say it quieter.
The average Joes. And I just learned just a moment ago from Hank that the most decorated team in the world is actually a spawn of NASA that they brought in from space or something like that, and they have government backing and that kind of thing. But anyway, we'll talk about that in a moment. But first off, welcome back, Average Joe First Robotics team. You just competed at state. We'll talk about that in a second, but for those who aren't familiar with First Robotics, let's just give them a quick primer. What is First Robotics? What's the competition all about?
Why are you looking at me? You guys know what this is about.
So I've been in the program for 10 years, and it's all about really creating connections and learning and growing yourself. You learn life skills, you learn your soft skills, you learn about engineering, you learn about how to communicate with other people, and you create lifelong friends. So there's a robot element, and you build a robot and you compete with the robot 3-on-3. However, there's a lot more to it than just building a robot.
I like that. So that summary coming from Elizabeth Fisbeck, who's the Impact lead, and we'll talk about Impact in just a moment. Also in the studio, Atharv Saxena, and then also Hank Fisbeck. And Morgan Brunsting is the First Robotics coach and coordinator for the Average Joe's team. But, okay, so throughout the season, how many competitions are there where you take your robot out?
So for our team, we like to go to 2 what are called district events. And then if we qualify, we like to go to the state championship. And then if we qualify, we go to the world championship.
Okay. How'd you do at the district events?
So we won both of our district events, the St. Joe district event, like we talked about last time. We were able to win Impact there as well, which is super big deal for our team. And then miraculously, we won the Woodhaven district event as well.
Just clean out won it.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Congratulations. And then you went to state. Where is state held?
That is at Saginaw Valley State University.
Okay. And this was just this last weekend.
Yes.
Okay. So what happens at a state event? How many teams are there, and what's the competition like?
So the state event has 160 teams split up into 4 divisions, sponsored by various different companies, and the divisions are mostly randomly generated. And being able to win our division was just amazing. We've never been able to do that before, despite building many great robots and having many great teams.
Yeah. And Atharv, maybe you can describe what does winning mean? What does your robot have to do?
So we get our season, our game, which is new every single year. It's like a new sport, which comes out in January, and we're working in the 7 weeks of build season.
8 weeks.
8 weeks of build season.
8 weeks.
To build a robot, and we're in a race against the clock to build the best robot that we can, take to this competition, do the certain tasks, which amount to a certain amount of points. And by ranking in a certain position, there's a snake draft. And in the end, there's a big elimination bracket of a bunch of teams who compete to win the competition. And at states, the way it works is there's 4 different competitions. Each of those divisions is its own competition. And they take the winners of each of those fields and put them on a big main field, which they call Fimstein.
Fimstein.
Because at Worlds, it's called Einstein.
Ah, okay.
But first in Michigan, so they call it Fimstein.
Very
for
nice.
us.
Okay.
And it was our first Fimstein appearance because we've never won our field before.
Wow. And winning the field, each competition, correct me if I'm wrong, is you basically send your robot out there to do certain tasks. In this year, it was a water theme. You had the coral. And coral and what else?
Algae.
Oh, the algae. That's right. The coral and the algae. You had basically tubes that you had to put on this tube holder, and then you had balls you had to put into this net thing, and then you had the opportunity to go autonomous for a very short period of time in the beginning, and you could block robots, which is really fascinating to me. Did you?
Amazing.
So and there's this whole thing around alliances where teams get to choose other teams to partner with to help them get through the championship. What did your alliance situation look like this year?
So this was one of the most interesting alliance selections I can ever remember. The team that ranks number 1 can pick any team, but any team is also allowed to say no and potentially become a captain on their own.
Okay.
The team that ranked 1, while they were good, were not the best team on the field, and so they ended up getting declined by a couple of teams.
It's important to note that if you say no, no one else can pick you.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
So that's an important aspect of that.
Why would you say no, just out of curiosity?
Because you think you can make a stronger alliance and potentially perform better.
Okay. On your own.
Yes.
Or leading your own thing. Okay, great.
And so they picked one team number 9245, Lakers Dreadnoughts, who if they got with the team we ended up partnering up with, they would have won the field, no question. But then the 5460 Strike Zone, the team we partnered with, was not allowed to pick Lakers Dreadnoughts because they had already said no.
Oh.
And so then after the team that had ranked 1 had tried to pick a couple of teams, eventually they got one to stick. And then the second ranked team, Strike Zone, ended up picking us, which was awesome. We couldn't have hoped for a better situation than getting picked by Strike Zone.
Strike Zone, is that Striker? No, that's different one. Okay.
Striker is
Force.
Strike Force.
Oh, Strike Force.
They
Okay.
don't make it easy.
But Strike Zone is also a world-renowned
Okay.
team.
Where are they from?
They are from somewhere in Michigan.
yes, I don't actually know.
I have no clue there.
Maybe they were from Lowell. Maybe they were
Maybe.
from Lawrence. Maybe they were. No, just kidding.
I should've
But
worn my Strike Zone
they've
shirt.
been on Einstein before.
Oh, okay.
And have they won?
In the world.
They've never won.
They've never won Einstein, but they've been on Einstein on the finals matches before. So they're a very famous team and they do well. They perform each year. To be with them, one thing I told Hank after we got picked by them is the thing that's great about being a good team is we get to play with great teams.
Yeah.
So
That's
it was a completely new experience.
So you got picked for this alliance, and you went into the semifinals. What happened?
So it was a really tight playoffs. All the alliances were good, and we played against Alliance 7 on our first match. That was a fairly easy win, but after that, it was all really tough. We played against Alliance 3, I believe, who made it really, really close, and then we played against Alliance 5 2 different times, which was really, really close. And
Really close.
yeah, we ended up just being able to beat them. I think the last one of them was only by like 6 points.
So we have to wait till after the competition on our field is over to go eat lunch.
Okay.
So in finals, right, which is a best of 3, we won finals 1, and the chant after that was "We want lunch." So
Very
we
nice.
wanted to win the second match right away, make it as easy as possible, because the first 2 district competitions we were at, it always went to finals 3. We'd always win the first one, lose the second one, and then win the third one. We didn't want to wait that long at states.
The mentors were always joking about, why you got to make it so hard on our hearts? You know, some of us are getting older.
Very nice. It sounds so very good. Any setbacks during the competition?
I mean,
At state.
the whole competition is full of setbacks and then pushes forward. We had a couple of matches where we should have won, but we just couldn't quite do it. And everything is just a mix of setbacks and then making the right decision and moving forward.
One of the big ones, however, was we got a yellow card
Oh no!
for the.
You can get a yellow
You
card
can
with
get
your
a
robot. What
yellow
did you
card.
do?
So
What did you do?
one of the big.
For those who don't know, in
penalties-
soccer, yellow card and red card are pretty big deals. I don't know if they have them in other sports, but now I know they have them in robotics.
They're pretty big for robotics.
they're
'cause
pretty
if you get a
big.
yellow card and then you get another yellow card,
It's a
then
red
you get
card.
a red card, and
No
that just
disqualification.
disqualifies you.
Okay, a third. What'd you guys do?
So in the autonomous period, which you were talking about earlier, the 15 seconds at the start of the match, which aren't driver controlled, we pre-program our robot to move around, score game pieces. One of the things that we were trying to do, which was completely new for the state competition, we didn't have this at Woodhaven, we didn't have it at St. Joe, and we tested it pretty much for the first time in our elimination bracket. Like after we got picked,
You tested on the field during the competition?
not even the quals competition, but
Yeah.
after we got picked and we were trying to win,
Yeah.
that part of the competition. And it went
was brave.
went way too far into the net.
Oh.
And the biggest penalty, well, one of the biggest penalties is climbing a game element. And so we got stuck on the net and automatically our elevator came down and we were in the air for a little bit.
Oh. Like
So-
for how long? What's a little bit?
2 seconds.
only a few
but
seconds.
it ended
Oh,
up
okay,
Unhinging
all right.
itself, but it was a yellow card. First yellow card we've gotten in over 10 years.
And we
as
were
far as I'm aware.
I think so, yeah.
the team strike zone really liked that auto. that auto from the one that scores into the net.
Yeah.
So it was so nerve-wracking in the second match to run the same auto that had gotten us the yellow card, because it's like one more and then we're screwed.
I asked them if they fixed it. They just kind of shrugged their shoulders. I'm like, what?
Yes, AJ was like, we did something. I don't know if it fixed it, but we changed it.
We told the robot to go like 4 inches less towards the barge and hoped it worked.
And it did. You
And it
didn't get
did.
at least you didn't get a second yellow card,
Yeah.
right?
The auto worked really well, and that was one of my most proud moments of the whole year was our ability to develop good autos. We haven't had a good auto since like 2016, and our good autos this year have really been a game changer for us.
Explain auto just for anyone who might have missed that.
Yeah, so it's a pre-programmed period, 15 seconds. The robot can only react to its cameras and sensors it has, no driver input. So this year we have a camera so it can tell where it is on the field by recognizing different parts of the field. And we've never really had the sweet spot for auto before, but this year we've finally been able to do it.
With that one yellow card. Yep.
With the one yellow card.
No, that's great.
See, this year we have consistency. We've never had consistency before, is what he's trying to say. So when we were wrong, we fixed it, and we had a little more trust in the robot to say, okay, there's going to be a difference if we change the code. Other years we could change the code and it could be worse because we really don't know what we're doing. It's inconsistent, but that was a huge step this year.
I love the risk that you took and that it paid off. So that's great.
Paid
What's
off
your
for
robot's name?
Stingray.
Stingray.
We named it partially because of one of the elements of the robot, but I voted to name it Stingray because of I think it was the 67 Corvette.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that's
a beautiful
our
car.
iconography. We have the Corvette logo on it in the same font.
Oh,
Or
The Stingray Corvette
emblem.
logo.
Yeah.
oh, that's beautiful. Stingrays. They're a great
It's one
car.
of the most beautiful robots we've built, also ever. It
It's
might
gorgeous.
be
No,
the
second,
most
second best.
second.
What's first?
What
2023 was the cleanest looking
it
robot
was
we've ever
Tippy.
built. But it looked.
Are you going to put fiberglass on it so it just has that sleek move? No?
We do polycarb.
Okay,
So it's
Polos.
it's almost invisible at some.
fiberglass. What am I, from the 1960s? Of course you use polycarb. Okay. All right. We're talking with the Average Joe's first robotics team. They won some really big medals at state. We'll talk about that in just a moment, including the impact. For all of Michigan, you're one of 4 to win the Impact Award. And this is the first time you've won the state Impact?
Yes.
Yes, and this is our second year ever winning Impact at a district level. So we're new to winning it.
That's fantastic. And I still am agog at 42 different community projects that you're involved in.
Yeah, so for example, one of our projects right now, we are sharing our facilities with community members. So like yesterday we had Edwardsburg Eddies here and we had Bridgman Robotics there the other day. And so this helps them practice because they get to use our field and practice their matches. But this also helps us practice. We can have them play defense for our driver to practice getting around defense, or we
Nice.
can do matches with them to see different strategies, which is really cool.
They're your warm-up teams.
The scary part is neither of those two teams qualified for Worlds, so they went all out on defense. They're like, we don't need our robot anymore.
Oh, man.
So it was a little scary
sounds
hearing some
expensive.
of those noises a little bit.
They came down and they said, they were like, anything to help your team. We just want to see you guys perform your best at Worlds. It was really nice to hear that from some of our friend teams.
That's fantastic. All right, we're going to put a pin in this conversation. We're going to continue in just a moment. We've got to get to some news. We've got our financial news from Bloomberg, our world and national news from ABC, our local news from the WSJM newsroom. It's all coming up next right here on WSJM.
What would you call a free account that helps you save automatically?
All right, how are we doing? We doing all right?
Yeah.
What were we laughing at? What were we good?
We all drank
We're
water. at the
hydrated.
same
Oh, you're all
time.
drinking. Drink your water. It's fine.
Hydrate or
Does anyone
dehydrate?
need more water? I've got a water cooler over there.
I think we're good.
Yeah,
for
we
now.
got.
You all
a lot
right?
of water.
Okay. Morgan, maybe you need a bigger vessel, possibly.
Maybe, yeah. Well, I'm
should see
What is that,
nearly
like a
on
f-
Hank's level.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Hank! What are you, a camel in your off time? What are you doing
I
over
used
there?
to be a football player, and so this is the water I'd bring to football practice.
Oh.
I've just never stopped using it.
Okay, very good, very good. So any changes to the robot between state and Worlds?
Only very minor changes. I think mechanically there might be one thing that we do, but I think otherwise it's all programming changes.
There were some changes. Remember, so
I don't remember. That's the issue.
So of course, after each competition, we're analyzing the robot, seeing where can we save seconds in our cycles from grabbing the PVC coral and putting it on the giant coat rack, which is the reef. So one of the things that was happening a lot was our coral was getting stuck between the wheels of our intake.
Okay.
So we repositioned some of the belts there and we reshaped the funnel to make sure that the coral was going in smoothly. So it's small tweaks, but there were a lot of small tweaks that helped us be more efficient for states.
He was talking about between states and worlds. That's why I said there It was like maybe one thing. But yes, we made a lot of minor tweaks before states, which really helped us. And then we're trying to see what we can do for Worlds. It's a big struggle between time and what can we do and how do we give ourselves time for other things like programming development and driver practice.
I actually have no idea. Are we doing any impact changes before Worlds?
No, that's too scary for me.
What would an impact change look like?
So we give a presentation.
Okay.
And it is a 7-minute presentation with 5 minutes of Q&A. Okay. And between St. Joe District event where we won and qualified us for states, we changed a fair amount of our presentation, but we had 4 weeks. Now we have like 9 days between states and Worlds, and that was too terrifying for me to even like think about. Plus, it won at states, so it's probably pretty good.
Probably pretty good.
Probably pretty good.
I'm
I
sure-
mean, it beat 30 other teams. Like, it's probably pretty good.
We're just happy to have the opportunity to present at Worlds.
Do you want to test the presentation today with our audience?
We don't have our third presenter here.
Oh,
There's
okay.
3 presenters, me, a third, and then our other presenter is Hope.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So there are 3 of us that present.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yep.
What else should we know about that?
Impact?
Yeah.
It's a really cool award, so you have to apply for it. This is one of the only awards that you apply for. Well, it is the only award you apply for besides Dean's List and Woody Flowers, which are individual, so they're separate.
I'm sorry. Explain. So you have to apply for
Yeah.
so does that mean some teams just don't?
So some teams just don't compete for it.
Okay.
Because you have to write a 10,000 character essay.
Oh.
Then there are 15 what are called executive summaries, or essentially micro essays, and those are 500 characters each.
15 essays you have to write in addition to the 10,000 character one?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
She's crazy.
And I go through like 10 drafts of each, don't worry. As any good writer would, you got to have double-digit drafts.
Absolutely.
Each executive summary is like a little question about your team. How do you measure reach? I think was one of them this year.
Yes. So one of the questions typically stay the same, but they'll change out 1 or 2. So they ask about like how do you measure reach? The executive summaries are very numerical based, very data driven, very quantitative. So it's a lot of numbers, and they don't have to be grammatically correct. But then you have the 10,000 character essay, and that's a lot of words. And then you have your 7-minute presentation and 5 minutes of Q&A at every comp.
And then you also submit a video. I believe our video is like 5 minutes long.
No, our video is 90 seconds, but it isn't counted in the judging. That's just for if you win, they play a video.
Okay. And so you won, so you got your video played.
Yes.
Okay.
Twice.
One on the big state screen.
Yeah.
That's pretty
It's
cool.
always been a dream of mine.
Well, what was pretty cool about winning at states to me was another team competing for Impact approached us after we had won, and they said to my older sister, a lot of teams are just in Impact for the award, but your team is in there. They want to be there for the community. They want to help the community. It's not about the award. It's about doing the right thing.
And that was like one of like 10 teams that came up to us and congratulated us and hugged us and were taking pictures with us. And we're like, your team deserves this. We're so excited for you guys. One of the other teams that won Impact, they were like cheering for us the entire time. They had helped us practice presenting. We practiced presenting with them. And so just seeing all those teams that were like, your team deserves this, I think that was actually really exciting and kind of crazy.
Yeah, that really is amazing. We're going to have to come back. We've got more to talk about here. It's the WSJM Morning Show. Good morning. The worst thing about gas leaks? The smell. No, just kidding. It's the danger, the safety issue. I think about 5,400 people were without energy because they had a major gas leak. I don't know where. It's somewhere in Michigan. Not around us, which is a good thing. All right, we're talking with the Average Joe's robotics team, and Morgan Brunsting is the first robotics coach and coordinator and experience. You're a veteran of First Robotics Program. We also have in the studio Elizabeth Fisbeck, Athurv Saxena, and Hank Fisbeck. They are, let's see, Elizabeth, you're the Impact lead.
Yes.
Athurv, you are a member of the Drive team, the Impact team, and the programming team for whatever programming is for. No, I'm just kidding. Because he underplayed it earlier. I'm like, programming, that's like key to the robot. Hank Fisbeck is also driver. He's like, do you drive cars, like in real life?
Well, I'm 15, so I'm about to get my license.
You
but
don't know how to
He
answer that
questionably
question, do
drives.
you? Okay.
I'm a pretty good driver.
Okay. All right. But you drive the robot, so that's pretty cool.
Yes.
Okay. You also are co-lead on the build team.
Yes, that's correct.
All right. But Morgan, you wanted to talk a little bit about some of the area teams. You've been in robotics for how long now? First as a competitor.
Well, I was on the team the 2013 season to the 2016 season.
Okay.
I don't know how many years that is.
That's 4.
I was 3
Well,
years old.
no, since then.
She's been involved with robotics. I'm going to calculate 12
It's our
years.
13th year. It's
12?
It's like 13th year.
13
My
years.
13th year.
Okay.
Yeah. So local area teams. One thing I absolutely adore about Southwest Michigan and all of the teams that we have in this area is how much we support each other. So I have heard from so many teams how they're rooting for us and they're going to watch all of our matches and they're cheering us on from home. And we got a gift from Robotics for us to wear. They have a
gift?
necklace. Yeah.
Huge shout out to Bridgman High School, their team 10633 Robotics, one of my favorite teams in the whole world.
Why is that?
They are a really small team and a rookie this year, and they built just an excellent robot that you would never expect from a rookie team. They made all the right decisions that you would expect of a veteran team, and then they're just rookies, and they went out there, and I don't think anybody had more fun than they did.
That's awesome. That's
But
great.
So much of this community just has rallied behind us. Lakeshore's going to Worlds too. They qualified.
Okay.
So that's Lancebot. Everyone's just rooting us on and cheering us on from home. And I'm really feeling the love this year because they're happy for our successes. And they're celebrating with us, and it just warms my heart. And we're celebrating with them for their successes and the awards they've won. So it's just that community beyond just the Joe's community, just Southwest Michigan community. We're all just so supportive of each other.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, it speaks to our heritage because we have a great heritage in supporting manufacturing and being key parts and components to manufacturing, whether it's the auto industry or tool and die and all that other. But thinking about the technology companies that exist today in our region and seeing the excitement and the passion that you have for the robotics, it's great. And it gives, I think, a lot of people a lot of hope for the future. So
robotics is a lot more than just robots.
Yeah.
Seeing all the teams, they're supporting us. They're excited. Yes, your robot's going to Houston. That's great. But they're also so excited about for us for the Impact Award. And we do a lot more than just building robots and having other teams come to our facilities for robots. We have graphic designers on our team that they're excited for. They love our buttons. And we have students that write on our team, and they're so excited that our impact essay that we wrote gets to go to Worlds. Things like that aren't even engineering or technically robot related. They're excited for that too, and I think that is so cool.
I'm going to put you on the spot, Elizabeth. Your favorite of the 15 essays?
I think my favorite, I don't like the question, but I think this is my favorite response.
How would you phrase the question?
The question was how many people do you reach? How do you measure that reach? And so I remember Thurv and I debated long over this question because he's our numerical guy. He was like, let's put some numbers in there. And I was like, but I don't want people to be numbers. I don't like that question.
That's fair. Okay.
So I think my favorite answer was we ended up going with, while our reach is over 77,000 people, I don't have the exact number, but 77,600 something people, we are measuring our reach in more than just the numbers that we are talking to. We are measuring the reach in the people that invite us back year to year. We have a 95% year-to-year outreach event return rate. And the people that are coming out to support us constantly at the St. Joe District event. Or the teams that are texting us and saying, hey, we're rooting for you at Worlds. That is how we're measuring the reach. The teams that are supporting us, the people that are excited for us. So while I don't like the question, I love the spin we put on it. And I think the judges did too, because when they announced our award, they were talking about people are more than numbers.
They said
Love that.
This team measures their reach and lives change. And as soon as, that was the first sentence. And as soon as they said that, I'm like, guys, we just won.
That's fantastic. Because you're right. There's quantitative and then there's qualitative, but it seems like you really merge the two to bring it forward a really strong argument. That's great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's stressful.
What parts, Arthur?
So 4 teams win, right? And First does an amazing thing with the scripts for announcing the teams that win. They don't just say, congratulations, Team 3620.
Yeah.
They have a whole script for us at every district competition. And at the
Hinting
state
at little things
competitions-
we do and stuff like that.
Okay.
At the state competitions, they mix around the scripts of the 4 winners. So in the 3 people that won before us, because we won last, which was very stressful.
Oh, wow.
The 3 teams that won before us, they said the word average in their script. In the first 2 scripts, they said average, and in the third script, I think they said above the mean,
And
or
they
something
incorporated
like that.
our cheer. They said, "I can't hear you" to technical difficulties.
It's a big part of our branding of being, just your average Joe and being above average. That's our whole like brand.
Yeah, it's real creative.
So they were hinting around the whole time that you
Yes.
guys were going to
And
win.
I'm just getting adrenaline dumps because I hear the word average and I freak out because that's like a trigger word for me is average.
That's great.
Everyone was like excited, and I looked like I was gonna puke. So, everyone's being giddy, and I'm like, guys, what if it's not us? Do you want to read our winning script from states?
Oh, you could do it all dramatic, like you. Yeah.
Let's do that. Hold for just a moment because we're going to come back in. We'll be on the radio, so we'll get a larger audience to pump it up. And we'll be right back. It's the WSJM Morning Show, Robotics Roundup, brought to you by Cook Nuclear Power Plant, by Lake Michigan College, and by Berrien Springs Public Schools. We're talking with the Average Joe's first robotics team. It's Morgan, Elizabeth, Athurv, and Hank. They're all here to tell us a little bit more about the Impact Award. We'll talk about that in just a moment right here on WSJM.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
Because if you add an S to things, it's more exciting, right?
Yeah,
Right?
it's like Scrabble. Life is like Scrabble.
Yeah, it's like Scrabble. Life is like Scrabble. Very good, Athurv. All right, so we're talking with the Average Joe's robotics team. They're not average at all. They came home well decorated from the state competition, also known as States. They're headed to the world competition, also known as Worlds, in Houston, Texas. That's coming up next weekend, not this weekend. They'll all be flying on an airplane. The robot will be taking a bus, but they will get down there one way or another and compete for I guess what you get. What are you going to compete for when you go down to Worlds?
Compete
out of
for
curiosity.
everything, man.
We get to compete for everything. We get to compete for the field, and for the first time, we get to compete for impact at Worlds. We're going there just to have fun, just to meet the World's judges, just to give our presentation, get ourselves out there.
How many teams are going to be at Worlds?
88 for impact and 600 for
the
91
everything.
for impact.
What? There's
I
more?
counted them yesterday.
Oh,
600 teams total, including 91 of them that will be competing for the Impact Award.
okay. And you won the Impact Award at the state competition. And in the reading, when they were announcing your award, you've got the script of what they said. And you would like to read that, so let's hear it.
Sure. So in the 3 skips before us, they hinted towards us, and the adrenaline was high. And then finally in the 4th script, while we were all waiting, they say, as a veteran team with years of experience under their belts, this group knows that impact is measured in lives changed. They inspire young minds at their annual STEAM Play Day, and they run FLL summer camps that fuel future innovators. Their 21-team pipeline guarantees their sustainability. But the real buzz, their life-changing Buzz Glove brings stability and hope to those living with Parkinson's. Wow. With an impact that ripples through classrooms, golf courses, museums, and people's lives, this team isn't redefining average. They're rendering the word obsolete. Qualifying for the Houston Championship is, congratulations, Team 3620.
The Average Joes.
Average Joes.
That's fantastic. So that was the script. At what point when they were going through and reading that, did you know it's Average Joes?
First line.
So I was really thrown off because they called us the veteran team. We were the youngest team they announced. So I was like, oh, guys, it's not us. And I was like, wait, Buzz Gloves? I don't know anyone else who's making Buzz Gloves.
Let's talk about the Buzz Gloves for just a moment. You've been experimenting and you've been trying them out on people with Parkinson's. What are the Buzz Gloves and what have you been doing with them?
So Buzz Gloves are gloves for people who have Parkinson's, and they use vibration therapy to calm the neuron firing, which causes the tremors. We did our first round of data collection, and it went super well. All the data supports that they are fully working, and they are functional. So now we are making 5 more pairs that I'm hopeful to have done by Houston. And I'm hopeful to give them out before we leave, so that way we can have some more data collecting going on while we are at the World Championships. But all our data says that they are working, and that is super exciting because, the impact script said, we're changing lives. We say in our presentation, we're improving the quality of life in community members.
Yeah, and I mean, that says it all. The award is for impact. You're making such a huge community impact
And one thing I
Thank
love that Elizabeth says is that it's a community award. It's not a team award. But I'm not going to steal her thunder for that.
The judges always ask, oh, what is one thing you want us to remember? And my go-to response for that, I mean, I'll be like, oh, if you're looking for an initiative, Buzz Gloves. But my honest answer is that this is an award for our team. This is an award for us to thank the community that supported us for 15 years. They have done everything to get us to where we are.
That's fantastic. We're talking with the Average Joe's robotics team. Let's make this part of the Moody on the Market update. It's brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today. They are your local auto owners insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. And one of the things that we bring forward in the Moody on the Market update are it's life in Southwest Michigan and why we love it here. We also talk about interesting people you should know. I know we hit both of those buckets with here with you today. Absolutely. What's the end goal for the Buzz Gloves? Where will that go from here?
I don't have a full plan, but some other teams had some interest in learning on how we make them. So spreading it to other teams and maybe one day turning it into a nonprofit so we can spread Buzz Gloves throughout the state of Michigan, maybe throughout the nation, and to support those people that have Parkinson's, to give them back their quality of life and offering them more mobility.
Yeah.
After Elizabeth graduates, because she's a senior this year, Thurv and I plan to take on this project and hopefully, with Elizabeth's help, produce a lot during the summer for anyone who asks for them, and then hopefully be able to continue on our relationship with the People with Parkinson's organization. And then going forward, if they ever need another pair or if they need help or any upgrades, hopefully we can be able to fabricate those for them.
Love that.
Elizabeth has also managed to secure an anonymous sponsor for our Buzz Gloves. That way we can do our best to make sure they're as accessible as possible to the people that need them.
And even beyond that, the guy that tested it the first time where we got our first round of data, he tried resting it on his foot. He has left side only tremors, so in his leg and in his arm. He rested it on his foot, and he said the first time it didn't do much, the second time it helped. So now we're also going to try to look into how to create a sock or an ankle brace that might help with leg tremors as well. That's something we haven't seen done before, so it's going to take some research on our end to figure out where those right nerves are. But I'm pretty excited about it.
They are trailblazers.
I feel so good about the world right now.
incredible.
This is great. No, this is fantastic. So you want to impact. Why don't you just suggest to all the robotics teams that this will be one of the community impact awards that we'll focus on for the next year or maybe more? Mm-hmm. Just put it out there as worlds. Like we're here, we're Average Joes, and we're going to make life great.
Yeah.
I really hope so.
All right.
We're going to make life above average.
Above average. I like it. Very good. We're talking with Average Joes. We're going to wrap up this interview in just a moment. It's the WSJM Morning Show. Robotics Roundup is brought to you by Lake Michigan College, Cook Nuclear Power Plant, and Berrien Springs Public Schools. Okay, since we have a couple of minutes here, you were talking about a foundation. Go.
Yes, the St. Joseph Public Schools Foundation.
Oh, let's talk about that.
We could not have this team without them. We could not have this program. So I'm also a robotics coordinator for young fives all the way to 12th grade. So they continue to support us every single grant cycle. They let me apply both in the fall and in the spring. Usually you only get one, but because I have all these different grades, I'm applying both in the fall and in the spring, and they're getting us improvements for our innovation center. They're helping us buy motors. We got a bunch of new motors for them, new robot supplies, new cameras, and they have been absolutely pivotal. They are by far our biggest sponsor. They just support us so much. I'm in disbelief on how much they support us and how willing they are to just support whatever initiatives we feel need support. And they come in clutch anytime. Like we had a big sponsor drop and they swooped in and gave us the money that we lost because we were planning on that money. The foundation is by far super amazing.
Okay, we'll give them one more thanks here in just a moment. It's the WSJM Morning Show.
The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
Okay, you've got 60 seconds before I cut you all off. That's it. No, we've been talking with the Average Joe's robotics team. They did great at states. They won an impact award. They won more decoration than any other team in the world, except for one. And we'll be going on to Worlds in Houston, Texas the week after this weekend. You'll be going there next weekend to compete. Any last words?
If you want to donate to our efforts going to Worlds, it costs about $20,000 for us to get down there. So we are posting our donation link on our Facebook page, and it should be on our Insta shortly. Thank you to the St. Joseph Public Schools Foundation for all the support that they've given us. And thank you to all of the mentors and family and community members and alumni who are helping us be who we are today.
Fantastic. Morgan, Elizabeth, Atherv, and Hank, thank you, and thank the rest of the team members for us for being the average Joes and not being so average and really doing so well at state. Do well at Worlds. Any last words? Anyone?
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Anytime. All right. Well, continue to go out there and make a difference in community impact and everything else. Atherv, what are you doing? You're cutting up over there. Behave.
It looked like Hank wanted to say something.
All right. Well, that's enough. That's all the time.